I can't put into words how excited I was when I found out a bunch of the Criterion Collection was now available on HBO Max, and instinctively, I went after Hong Kong and Chinese cinema, starting with some good old Jackie Chan. I was enjoying myself until suddenly it ended. And I don't mean I was so immersed in the film that I didn't want it to end. It almost felt like there was just no ending. It was action, climax, bloopers and credits. And the gears in my head started turning. So, in this video for the Borealis company, we're going to take a look at Police Story and how it's a demonstration of not an ending, but closure. I love Jackie with all my heart, but his storytelling strengths really lie in the fight scenes rather than the film as a whole. The film didn't necessarily need that though, because Police Story at its core is designed to be a simple film. Cops try to catch bad guys, and Jackie Chan is the guy to do it. Which is funny to say that because the film I watched immediately after this was Infernal Affairs, which is much more complex of a police story than Police Story. But the idea is, by having the narrative be simple and almost forgettable, it allows the audience to focus on what the storyteller is really wanting them to focus on, which in this context is the action and the humor. And if that's what they set out to do, what's to say they didn't really do their job? And if you're curious if we have something like this in the United States, we did. His name was Alfred Hitchcock. Hell, even his acceptance speeches followed this procedure.
Thank you.
But you know, it's funny, the lack of an ending wasn't really much of an issue to me. That's typically because if the focus is on fights and jokes, having an epilogue or a scene to wrap everything up in a bow like we traditionally know is kind of redundant or even excessive in stories like this. For jokes, that's better in the form of a release of tension with the punchline. For fights, look no further than a good UFC bout. A knockout. And that's all the closure we need, because it's not an epilogue, it's catharsis. Which, now that I'm thinking about it, is probably why Jackie Chan is able to mix fighting and comedy so well. He sees that parallel structure between the two. With that in mind, if the narrative design of a film like this is minimal, then the fights should be able to speak for themselves. And they do. They most certainly do. Everybody tends to cite the stunt at the end of the film where he slides down the pole while basically getting electrocuted by cut-up glass at the same time as the best stunt in the film. And don't get me wrong, it takes a special kind of ungodly power to be able to pull that off and to live to tell the tale. But this is one of many incredible stunts in the film. There's the phone and the pencil skit, and the opening of the cars driving down the slums being easily one of my favorite car stunts of all time, alongside It's a Mad, 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 Mad World, Baby Driver, and I'm sure once I finally get around to seeing it, The French Connection. But here's the thing, when those stunts are done, they're done. They stay within their respective scenes and plot points, because it's simply time for the next one. And extending a joke or a fight when it doesn't need to be extended is simply beating a dead horse. Why continue when there's nothing else to say? In some cases, it works like The Return of the King, but that's a massive exception. It's usually more like most of the MCU after Endgame. Now, that's on the storyteller side, but I think we also need to acknowledge that there's the audience too. Meaning, as a 90s kid who loves kung fu movies, I know why I chose to watch a Jackie Chan movie, even all these years later. So with that level of expectation, also comes the assumption that the stories are going to be formatted in a specific way. And in this case, I'd be right. This is the same thing that happens with the Drunken Master movies and even the Rush Hour trilogy. I actually do like and even admire storytellers who are able to tell diverse stories, don't get me wrong. But when you make it stories like this your livelihood, the best way to guarantee a steady paycheck is turning what you're best at into a brand so you can turn your biggest brand into your biggest selling point and your beloved audience into loyal customers. On one side of the coin, that can mean the pressure to keep the momentum going, which is easier said than done when you're basically a violent athlete. But on the other side of the coin as well, you get to hone your craft. And as a consequence, you get to tell the micro stories even better because you become so familiar with the story structure. And it's something that you can see throughout someone's career. If they have the same level of commitment and talent as Jackie Chan, you can see it early in their career, like how we did with Police Story. Thanks for watching, everybody. If you like this, please leave a like and consider subscribing for more insights on storytelling and some original works, but I want to know specifically, what's your favorite Jackie Chan story?